lights are out and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Are out and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, are out and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
I hope you're ready. This is going to be exciting.
And the ARCA restarts up we go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
From the house that Penske built, Michigan International Speedway, the Goat Locker Racing Glove Station ARCA Series is ready to get it on right here in Brooklyn, Michigan. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast Booth. Jordan Brockell and yours truly, Dave Regal, here on the call tonight for another night of exciting playoff racing here in the Goat Locker Glove Station ARCA Series. Folks, I can't wait to get things rolling here tonight. I know you can't wait to get things rolling tonight, so let's rock and roll as we're going to be with you every step of the way, from the green flag to the checkered flag, right here on Sim Racing Media. And Jordan, I missed you last night, but I know you may not have been here in spirit, but I know your heart was.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you always take me with you everywhere you go. So certainly, I'm sure that I was there in spirit. I'm excited to see these guys go. And Michigan tracks not only race, but watch. It races like a super speedway, and then as tire wear comes in, it starts to break up the field a little bit. Clean air is going to be dominant per usual, as I say, just about every single week. The track position is going to be key. And I'm looking forward to these ARCA cars to take on Michigan.
We're already gritting on the racetrack, and tonight your pole sitter, Chris Morse Jr., he is going to win the Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award. Somehow we've gotten a little slow tonight. We're going to talk about all of the excitement, but first we want to thank our friends at Jam Printing and Promotions. And since 2013, Jam has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They have been with Goat Locker Racing since the very beginning, and they provide GLR with all promotional items including shirts, hats, decals, dog tags, you name it. Jam is GLR's go-to promotional company, and they, of course, sponsor our Pole Award every week, which, of course, goes to the great Chris Morris Jr., who makes another Pole Award look just that easy tonight. Chris Morris Jr. and Travis Bieber, they're going to sit atop the pile as we get ready to roll. As time crept up on us, almost unexpectedly, the iRacing.com pace car leading us into turns 3 and 4 already. I can't believe we're there already. There was a lot of information to cover in our open, and we will get to all of that tonight. 60 laps the scheduled distance tonight as we come into 3 and 4. And, you know, this place, Jordan, races a lot like a super speedway as the iRacing.com pace car peels on down pit road. And that means, folks, the only thing that's left to do is it's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab your honey buns, your popcorn, and settle in. Race fans, it's show time! Green flag in the air, and off we go for the round of 6 from Michigan International Speedway.
See, now these guys are all getting kind of revved up. It's going to take a little bit to get them fully up to speed. We're sitting around 174 miles. It's not quite as bad as Daytona and Talladega, where first lap trying to get these things revved up. But we're already hitting 190 as we head into the turn and then drop back down to 177. Jeremiah Holt right now on the outside here. Second highest AM driver at the moment.
Yeah, right now, Jonah Calvert in the 16. He's our highest running AM driver in the Bojangles number 16 Chevrolet SS. As they're going single file above him, and right now the 16 trying to find a little bit of real estate there. Barrett Morton, an AM driver, just being entered tonight, runs in 8th position after qualifying in the top 5. Drivers kind of sliding around here as they get themselves comfortable. And overall, this is going to be a really interesting race because, like I said, this place does race a lot like a super speedway. And, but there's a heck of a lot more room, even at 190 miles per hour, into the turn. In fact, coming down into turn number 1, Chris Morris Jr. here at 195, nearly 200 in an ARCA car. I mean, that's going to get anybody's Taco Bell rung.
Absolutely, and I mean, you can see he went from about 195 and down to about 170 mile an hour. So you do have to, kind of let off the throttle, coast through. So you're going to have to drive these corners. And it's not going to be easy because the second you're off road, that guy behind you could easily dive below you, try to squeeze to the outside, try to get a better run. So it does run like a super speedway, but there are, significant differences where, you are having some off throttle. Right there, you see the 114 jump to the outside. Like I was saying, he saw Christopher Morris slow up. He's going to go to the outside, be side by side down the backstretch with Christopher Morris. Travis Bieber able to pull around the outside of Morris to the lead. Ellingson looking down low now. And that's what I was trying to say was, they're able to kind of pick and choose runs going into the corner, drive it in a little deeper, let off throttle a little bit earlier, maybe get a jump start on back on the throttle. The 48 has a head full of steam, has to check up there with Eddie Smith in tow behind him. Casey Jones all the way down to the bottom line, looking to kind of pull off what Ellingson did there. Oh, Ellingson gets turned nose into the wall.
And we go under our first caution of the night. What in the world? Clayton
Number of different people.
There are a lot of very upset people right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Ellingson just got a bump there that turned him to the outside.
I think he forgot
these
something
runs
on the backstretch.
Yeah, these runs happen so quick here. Take a peek. Looks like, oh, it looks like the trying to see
wow.
the 32, the Wood Brothers themed car. Looks like he kind of squeezed Ellingson a little bit up, causing Ellingson to move up, and the 16 was just inside of him.
We're going to look at that right here coming out of 2 and onto the backstretch. Aye.
Oh, Brandon Wallace going for a little bit of a ride there.
Well, 5 laps in, and all of a sudden we've got our first caution. Let's take a look here from the backstretch cam. And they all fan out and scatter.
Yeah, it kind of looked like there was kind of a sudden move by the car that was on the inside of Ellingson there. And, you know, as a driver, you see a car kind of close in on you pretty quickly. It's going to incite a reaction there. And he was trying to give room, and Calvert trying to stay tight to the wall, and it's just too many cars, one spot, and that's just the way it goes. It's the way the cookie crumbles.
Without a doubt. Well, we've had a couple of drivers serving a penalty this week now. Michael McCarthy, who actually I don't see in the field tonight, he would have been he is suspended for the remainder of the season due to intentional wrecking under caution last week. We caught that one. So that's the only, and he's out of Matamoros, Pennsylvania. So he will not be in the field tonight. The Glove Station ARCA Series is making its first trip to Michigan here tonight since the inception of the Pro and Am divisions. Last March in 2024, Brandon Wallace came from 17th place to lead after taking the lead from Jake Ellingson due to an EOL prior to the first green-white checker. Jake had fallen back to 18th after leading 35 laps. Chance Taylor and Jamie Mullins brought home podium finishes, and the race provided 10 lead changes and only 3 cautions. Last year, Michigan was in the middle of the regular season, and today it hosts the first race of the round of 6. And the question that I find myself asking is, will Mark Whitley continue his perfect GLR record and play spoiler, or will a playoff driver punch their ticket to the championship 4? And I think you mentioned it when we were off air, Mark Whitley not in the field tonight, so obviously this is going to end his run. But, you know, we were talking about the round of 6, and we had mentioned this earlier. Now, the round of 6 here is only because of, you know, points and things like that came up this way. So let's take a quick peek at those playoff points and just show you those right here in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Of course, Jonah Calvert and, you know, oh my, Jonah, sorry, I was watching something out on the racetrack. Jonah Calvert and Devin Smith, Jeremiah Holt, and then, of course, you know, we've got his counterpart, Alan Smith, and Jamie Libke and Chuck Pegleg Phelps. That's going to be your round of 6. And as we look here, we're going to keep this, you know, floating around, just so you folks at home can watch where this goes, at least on the AM side. Then, of course, we also have the pro playoffs, and this is where we were talking earlier about the way that some of these folks are going to be running tonight, and we'll be cycling this in and out for you. But the pro playoffs even more challenging right now as we get on here. You know, of course, we've got more Smith, Kurtz, Wilmus, Ellingson, and Wallace. The iRacing.com pace car lights are out. So this round of 6 also very tight, and we're going to see a lot of that happen over the course of the next, 52 laps or so. I got to be honest, Jordan, we've been around this league now, for the last, several months, and the heat's only just turning up to cremate now.
You hand me off with such a crazy statement. But yeah, I mean, everything's just really... Whitley really going to have an effect on some of these guys wanting to have a win for the season. So that's an opening for these guys as Chris Morris and Travis Bieber going to roll into the restart zone. Green flag going to come back out. Travis Bieber going to have a good run off. Going to separate himself from Andy Kurtz. And Andy Kurtz going to take advantage and move up to the second position now.
Lap 9 underway as Travis Bieber out of Ole, Pennsylvania starts to drift a little to the high side. There's a lot of speed up there on the high side. That's kind of the Dale Earnhardt Jr. line on the top there. And as he rides that... Whoa!
Casey Jones in the wall.
The 34 just came out of there loose as a goose. Aye! That almost looked like that amusement park ride, the Whipper.
The what now?
The Whipper?
You might be dating yourself there again, buddy.
No. I feel like, you know what? Let's go to the YouTube chat. Any folks here? Any folks here in the YouTube.com live chat know what the whip or the whipper is at an amusement park? Please help, because now I'm afraid that I'm old.
I mean, you shouldn't be afraid that you are old, because you are old. Anyway, Travis Bieber out front of this thing. Andy Kurtz has also been really strong here of late too, having some good finishes, and I look for him to kind of be sitting in this catbird seat most of the night, waiting for an opportunity. Eddie Smith and Holt also being one of those guys that we've been looking at to possibly get that natural win all season long. He gets a Morris.
We're going to go down here to the 61 machine and ride along with Barrett Morton. Morton's off pace and being passed. All of a sudden falling like a rock. Travis Bieber leads the way, though. Of course, Ray Ellingson says they've never heard of it. And apparently are old. Now T. Jones is close. The Scrambler is almost the same thing. I want you to picture like a big oval rubber band with carts on it, and it gets to the end, and when it gets to the end, it goes on a pulley and whips you around. I feel like I'm just...
I don't know.
I'm up a creek. There's no paddle. Let's just pay attention to racing. How does that sound?
I do love the rest of Ray Ellingson's answer there. Never heard of it, and I am old.
It means I'm even older. Ricky Sisk Jr. The 16
Calvert up in the wall.
Calvert is off pace and falling also. Nearly through. Ay, jeez. Go get in line. Just get in line. The 44 is going to do something bad here. I got a bad feeling for John Hoochin. He's got to hold on to the bottom line or wait until everybody passes him. He's 3 wide in the meet. Ay. I'm a big... Oh, there they go.
Oh, and I think...
That's half the field.
Ellingson in it again. Hoochin, Libke, Holt, Smith, Cofield. A lot of names. A lot of big names in that.
Ray Ellingson's old enough to be retired. And T. Jones 95 says it sounds like an Amish fair. Well... I guess everybody's got to head on for Knoebels.
You are in Pennsylvania.
I am. Thank you for reminding me.
Just didn't want you to forget in your old age.
Let's take a look from this perspective. Oh. And I hate to bring it up, but Skylar Daly is also our Warrior Spotlight for the evening, so I do have to talk about Skylar. But let's watch the 11 right here in the middle of all of this. Drifting up. This actually happens with the 61. That's Barrett Morton. Let's try once more here.
Yeah, I mean, 2 big names there, Devin Smith and Jeremiah Holt, Libke, those 3 all in the round of 6 right now. Alan Smith had issues early on in the round of 6. Calvert having a little bit of trouble, so this AM division getting bounced around a little bit here.
Barrett Morton definitely didn't help, and Adam says, do you mean the zipper? You know what? Yes. The zipper is almost the same thing. I will take that.
I still don't know.
I'll send you a picture. Of course, at my age, apparently there's a good chance it'll be black and white. Well, that's going to shuffle things up here. Richard McCarthy and David Calvert shuffled to the top of the pile. Andy Kurtz and Travis Bieber and literally the rest of the field all came down to lap number 14, so that's going to put some old tires atop the pile. course, we also want to talk about last week's winners because what a race we had, and those are playoffs. First, let's go ahead and talk about Mark Whitley picking up the Pro Division win again. Just, and Eddie Smith and Dan Cunningham joined him on the podium. It does no good. I'm 36, Ray. I'm 36. Just barely old enough to run for president a year ago. But, Mark Whitley picks up the win. And he has an example on silent film. Yeah, because Dad couldn't figure out how to use the camcorder.
Absolutely roasting in the comments today. I love it.
Now, the other person, of course, to pay attention to was up here, and this, of course, Jamie Libke in the Lambda Legal Machine. So glad for her to pick up a win last week. You know what? And at least the AM win, that is. I am so excited to see some of these AM drivers, in the upcoming season, make the jump from AM to Pro. I think a lot of these Pro drivers are going to have to look out, for lack of a better term, because they're coming for them and they're coming hard.
Oh, absolutely. Each and every week, the AM drivers just continue to get better and better. And we look for them to continue to grow. And eventually one of these guys are going to break through and get a win.
Just checking this out. See if I can paste this into our youtube.com live chat. You can all check that out. And for you, sir, I'll send you in a DM. Oddly enough, I will be riding that particular whipper this summer at Dorney Park. Pace car peels on down pit road. See, that's what I'm talking about. Pace car peels on down pit road. Richard McCarthy with control of the field in the 18. He's joined by David Calvert. They hit the restart zone. A nice, smooth start for them. No worries there as we look from high above, and side by side they go down into turn one. Wow! The 18 all of a sudden being split by the 48 and the 114. Andy Kurtz and Travis Bieber, part of the Pennsylvania posse, if you will. My good, whoa! Look at the bumping, banging, and pushing back here in the middle of the field. Watch in and around David Calvert and Richard McCarthy. At this point, you almost feel like they're holding up traffic. They're like, speed bumps out there while the 81 of Chris Morse and Casey Jones and the 34 have to get around.
Absolutely. And I just want to say I got my dose of karma for making fun of you because I clicked on that to look at the ride. It was at full volume, and then I freaked out and clicked the link for the ad, and it opened the ad. Blasted for a good solid 30 seconds.
$18 laps in the books. We're approaching the halfway point in just a few short laps, and these drivers have already clicked off 18 of them. The 48 of Andy Kurtz, who, I'll tell you what, now you missed it last night, man, but Andy Kurtz had the race in the bag, and, cautions fell at just the wrong time, and Andy Kurtz wound up. He still finished on the podium, but, tonight he's got to be out for blood.
Oh, I mean, anytime you're right there and, you're coming back into another race the following day, it's going to give you that bit of motivation that, you need to just maybe break through. And, I mean, like I said, he's been on a roll this whole season. He's been up front, as well as Morris and Eddie Smith. So, I mean, he's been right there each and every week. So certainly a force to be reckoned with here as we're almost daggone 3 wide again coming out of turn 4.
The 24 of Devin Smith is the meat in that 3 wide sandwich as he slides in front of the 27 of Jake Ellingson. Ellingson, as we go on board here, looking at that rear bumper of the 24, now the Milwaukee native, or Milwaukee as Alex Cooper called it, slides up just behind the 11 of Skylar Daly. Daly now in the 11 machine out of Walden, Vermont, holding his own for the time being. And I do want to say Skylar Daly is our Warrior Spotlight driver. And we'll get all of that to you momentarily. and I know that it's not like that we don't talk about our Warriors enough, but I think that we need to talk about them as much as humanly possible. But he joined Goat Locker Racing, and it was a game changer for him. And Skylar says that I found a community that not only shares my passion for racing, but also understands my background. From day one, I was met with incredible support, driving tips, paint advice, and guidance with iRacing, which was as invaluable as a new sim racer. I've really enjoyed racing and learning the ropes alongside such a supportive group, and the support and camaraderie here are unmatched, and it strengthens the bond between active duty and veteran members alike. And Skylar Daly, our Warrior Spotlight out of Walden, Vermont. Of course, a huge salute to Skylar. We appreciate that. And everything that all of our veterans do. Of course, you're going to hear more about that throughout the broadcast. And Barrett Morton being the pro tonight, making his appearance back in the 61, just barely holding on to that last spot on the lead lap. It's not looking good for the young man.
Oh, absolutely not. A track like Michigan, you certainly don't want to get separated from the rest of the cars as they're coming through the trial now, and I believe he was headed into turns 1 and 2, so not far from being put down a lap, but maybe you tag on to the back end to keep yourselves as the first car a lap down, pray for a caution, and get yourself back in the running.
Andy Kurtz chasing the 114 now as they have swapped positions. Travis Bieber getting a chance to run out front for a few moments, but look at Casey Jones here on the low side. All by his lonesome. No aero help. Now slides in. Whoa! Just in front of the 16. David Calvert with a run has to dive to the bottom of the racetrack, not because he was that much faster, but because the 34 was running that much slower, and that could have spelled disasters. We're here on lap number 24 of 60. My goodness, nearly a disaster.
Oh, he got another big run there going into the corner. So Casey Jones has a good machine underneath of him. Yeah, it's just the runs are coming at weird spots where he's kind of got to ease up and dive down to the bottom and kind of let that run kind of die out there. And it's a hard thing to deal with the runs here. You see him there, he gets a big run, goes down to the bottom to the inside of the 81, and they're going to drag race down the backstretch if he can get a good run off. Doesn't get the run he wants, going to tuck back in line here right in front of Calvert.
25 laps in the books as now Casey Jones looks to the low side of Chris Morris.
We got action in the back of Warren Clayton.
Warren Clayton may be involved here. Can't park there.
It's a safe spot.
I'll give him this. Now, we went to him on the camera here, and he stayed still. That means, folks, he held the brake. And kids, that's called being a smart race car driver.
Oh, so that's what I have to do.
Watch the 117. Now, he just gets bottled up, comes across the nose of the 24, gets himself turned around. But watch. You see how those wheels, you know what? This is great for anybody who's in the iRacing servers. Let's watch this zoomed in as close as we can here. He got on the brake immediately. A hat off right here to Warren Clayton out of Indianapolis. Look, he goes sideways, spins, hold them brakes. And that's how you bring it to a peaceful rest without wrecking the rest of the field.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, though, too. That's one of those things where it's hard to deal with these runs. He got a big run on, I believe it was Jeremiah Holt. A big run there, had to check up, and as soon as he checked up, the car behind him not necessarily ready for that, just gets just enough of that bumper that it spins him around. And it's very hard to take when you've got that draft, you're a couple mile an hour faster than the car in front of you. Got to find a place to put that energy, and sometimes it just doesn't go in the right place.
No, you know, and you're right. But the thing that I want to point out, and we've talked about this week after week, these drivers in this league are better trained than almost anybody when it comes to safe driving. I mean, 3 cautions through 27 laps, some great runs here at Michigan International Speedway. And, of course, we have a lot of people to thank for that, and, of course, first and foremost is Glove Station. Here at Glove Station, we're committed to providing quality gloves and protective gear for a wide range of your daily activities and jobs. From tinkering on home DIYs to working in industrial environments and everything in between, we've got you covered. With endless amounts of safety products on the market, we want to make it effortless for you to find the right protection for your needs. That's Glove Station. And, of course, we also want to encourage everybody to head on over to goatlockerracing.org/donate. And as a contributor to Goat Locker Racing, we make sure that your donation goes directly to supporting our cause of helping military veterans and first responders. And we thank you for your generosity. And, of course, you know, a little bit about what Goat Locker does is, you know, we provide virtual racing equipment, racing team building opportunities, and fundraising events to support community initiatives that improve military and public servant quality of life. We seek to grow our competitive team of drivers and promote VR racing as a healthy activity to newly transitioning veterans and their families. We believe that friendly competition, adrenaline-soaked driving, and community gatherings are essential to a good quality of life for our civic servants and veterans, and that GLR can be a force of good across the state of Indiana and beyond. And those donations over at goatlockerracing.org/donate will go directly to equipment for qualifying drivers, racer simulation training for military, firefighters, EMS personnel, and police, public racing events and community outreach with mobile simulators, other veteran-serving nonprofits, and the Veteran Education Supplement Grant. So, you know, folks, if you're looking for a place to park your tax-free gift, Goat Locker Racing is absolutely the place to be. And quite frankly, I think for those of us that have a lot of experience on the iRacing.com servers, both in the public realm and the league realm, these guys have their stuff together more than almost anybody I've ever crossed paths with.
Oh, 110%. I mean, everything's organized, and when you look for something, you know exactly where to look for it. The racing, clean and action-packed and fun, and it's just... I've been in some leagues that are absolute terrors to be in, but this place is the exact opposite of that.
As the iRacing.com pace car peels off to pit road, we hit the Geico Restart Zone. Travis Bieber, with control of the field out of Oley, Pennsylvania, takes off and resumes right here on lap number 29. Bieber, Smith, Kurtz, Morse, and Jones, that's your top 5. Chuck Pegleg Felts, your first and highest running AM driver for the time being, as Chuck gets that number 75 Ford Mustang cranked up just behind Casey Jones. And you know what? We don't talk about Chuck Felts enough. Right now, he's up 5 positions. He qualified in 11th. Our biggest mover of the night right now is Jamie Libke, back here in the 13 in the Lambda Legal Machine. And, of course, Jamie picking up the W last week, trying to capitalize on that tonight here in the AM division. But maybe tonight is going to be a Chuck Felts night as we work lap number 30 officially at the halfway point.
Yeah, he's one of those names that's always you always see that red right up there in the top 10, you know, reaching for the top 5, in the top 5 each and every week. So certainly a guy that is another one of those names that we look to get that, you know, all-out, flat-out win. So Libke also strong in practice, was top of the board during practice, so look for them to get themselves up there as well.
Peeking in now on Brandon Wallace in the 99, just behind the 34 of Casey Jones. And right now it looks like Brandon Wallace starting to sink back. That high line, as I said earlier, that's got a lot of speed locked up there. If you can get yourself nose to tail, you know, for a little bit of time here, you can really generate a lot of energy on the racetrack. And right now, even with the 114 atop the pile, you can see that high line. They're sticking together. They get a little bit tighter up there on the high side, because if you take that low line, whoa, what is this back here around the 27 of Jake Ellingson, the 11 of Skylar Daly, our Warrior Spotlight driver. You know, if you look there on the low side, sometimes that right rear wants to step out on you. Oh, wow, the 27 of Jake Ellingson just underneath the 808. Oy. now scoots just behind the 11 of Skylar Daly. You know, if you can get yourself into the right position here, you can almost get that car sealed at the bottom of the racetrack. But you've got to have the right person in front of you and behind you to keep those three cars together.
Yeah, and then it's figuring out where the best run's going to be for you. Is it going to be able to make it work, through 1 and 2? Is it going to make it better through 3 and 4? You know, do you squeeze to the outside, try to force your way, even higher than this line? Do you try to run tight to the bottom? There's a number of different things to do at this track, and that's why I love it so much.
You're going to go watch the 11.
Like I said, down to the bottom, using all that energy, wrap that line as tight as possible, and try to get a good run off. Got a little squirrely there for me.
For you right now, Jamie Libke's puckered up factor is like 47 on a scale of 1 to 10. Watching the 11 bounce back and forth up there has got to be stressful, especially, Jamie's on the bottom right now. She's holding just ahead of the 16 of David Calvert. And, holding her own at this point. The 13 and the 16 now trying to form up a little bit of a line. Now the 16 tucks back into the high side. But for a minute there, it was starting to look a little hairy. The 61 of Barrett Morton, nearly the meat in the middle of that sandwich, comes back out here on top with Travis Bieber leading the way on lap number 34. We're going to step aside and pay some bills right now on Sim Racing Media. I'm Dave Riegel. He's Jordan Brockell, and this is the Goat Locker Racing Glove Station ARCA Series.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you, day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
Metzger can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force it off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it. They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
No back into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Welcome back to Michigan International Speedway. You're watching the Glove Station ARCA series on Goat Locker Racing. And right now, we're going to go under caution once again. But only our 4th one of the evening. Dave Regal and Jordan Brockel with you here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. And I'm looking for who might have been at fault here. And I don't see anything.
Nobody knows. That commercial sticks in my head anytime someone says they don't know anything.
Whatever it was, it's something very not good for Jacob Lenke. He's sitting in his pits and the engine's just revving.
Yeah, I see Casey Jones sitting there too, but
I don't see anything else on the racetrack indicating a wreck. Let's call it a caution for debris. And Jacob Lenke says FML. So let's try this again.
Oh, yep, there we go. Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner.
Jacob may be able to tell us a little bit about what's going on. There must have been a connection issue because it goes to nothing and then it goes to the pits. That's going to bring in mass pit stops right now. And we've got a reasonable chance here at this being the money stop with 18 laps to go. Travis Bieber going to haul it down pit road. And as he brings it to a peaceful rest right here after qualifying P2. Oh, no, he overshoots the pit box.
And that could be just enough that it, screws him here.
We're going to watch. The left side of the car is up.
And here comes 1, 2, 3, 4 spots just lost there on pit road.
Yep. Ricky Sisk Jr. just stole away P3. Casey Jones and Skylar Daly each came in on lap 40, so they're going to cycle to the lead. That's going to be an interesting move here as Daly, our now highest running AM driver. Looking here to see if Jacob Lemke is still in the chat. Maybe we can get a little bit of
insight.
Of course, generally, I don't know if we want to talk.
See, we're perfect at finishing each other's sandwiches.
Yes. Hey, Jacob, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Buddy, what happened to you?
I went in a little too hot. I didn't think Holt was going to hold it down as tight as he did with the brakes getting toward the pit line, and I clapped the pit wall.
Well, that explains a lot then. We were curious here because it showed you as having a connection issue and disappearing. So we couldn't see a thing.
Yeah, I was going in with the 73 on that set of green flag stops, and I guess I got just a little too close and cooked it, and
oh dear,
just ended my night.
Well, I mean, look, at this point in the night, you might as well Put it on the hauler, or at least try to get as many points as you can, for the rest of the night. What do you think?
I'm up in the, or it's done. Like, left front's completely broken. It's done. They can't fix it. Okay. So I'm heading up to the spotter stand for the 75 right now.
Well, they have beer up there, so it should be fine.
Yep.
All right, my friend. Well, listen, good luck next week, and hopefully you'll have a better race next week.
Yep, you too.
That the voice of Jacob Lenke, as we're going to move him back on down here to the Save 22 vet. Casey Jones and Skylar Daly going to bring us back to green. They'll be followed by Andy Kurtz, Ricky Sisk Jr., Brandon Wallace, Eddie Smith, Jake Ellingson, Travis Bieber, Barrett Morton, and Chuck Pegleg Feltz. Rounding out your top 10. Sisk, Feltz, and Daly, a bunch of AM drivers up here in the top 10. Pace car drips down onto pit road. And Skylar Daly going to look to see if he can outgun Casey Jones. Oh, the 12 getting all out of shape there.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of tire spin there for the 11 as well, as Kurtz goes to the outside, 3 wide just as we get to turn 1. Door bangs to the 11 but from the 12.
If you're going to bang like that, you should wear a raincoat. The 87 of Eddie Smith now bump drafting down the backstretch with the 99, and watch their speed. As my God, already up to
now
180.
12.
Whoa! 4 wide. 4 wide. Oh,
that's not gonna work.
Oh, there it goes.
It's not gonna work. Oh no, Libkey, who was having a really good run, and a good week too so far with being the fastest in practice. Sisk, that wheel is not gonna go very. Oh, both front wheels are jacked up.
Coming out of turn 4, there was just a lot of disturbed air. That lifts the 11 and then brings everybody else along for the ride.
The 86 definitely needs to hit up Eddie Smith for a Tide pen.
I know I would. Watch him one more time coming out of 4 and onto the front stretch. There was just a lot of, it was turbulence essentially. It may not wreck an airplane, but it sure as heck can wreck your evening on the racetrack.
I mean, Sisk is all kinds of messed up. Libkey, a little bobbly there. What do you do here? I mean, you gotta hope that you still have the fast repair. It looks like Ellingson, without a front bumper, mowing the grass. Libkey crab walking now down the pit lane. I just want to see this thing just immediately turn perfect. Does it seem it's going to happen, though?
Well, that's going to be interesting. 14 laps to go now. 5 cautions on the evening. Huh.
Libkey saying 11 minutes of repairs.
Oh.
And that's just unfortunate for them, as they had a fast car. And we're like moving up through the field several times too.
I'm impressed. Well, that's going to change the complexion of this top 10 slightly. Andy Kurtz, Casey Jones, Travis Bieber, Brandon Wallace, Eddie Smith, Chris Morris Jr., Timothy Wilmus, Barrett Morton, Jeremiah Holt, and Alan Smith. So Alan Smith and Jeremiah Holt holding down 9th and 10th positions, respectively. I got to tell you, I'm starting to wonder if this is going to be the night where Kurtz picks up the W. I don't even want to ask him right now, because every time I talk to him, bad things happen.
Well, I'm not going to say any names at all, simply because apparently I seem to be a curse, as just about every name I say ends up either backwards or falling backwards or upside down.
Back in the day on Mike and Mike in the Morning on ESPN Radio, that used to be the Mike Greenberg kiss of death.
That's
if
certainly what I got.
If you needed your team to win, you asked Greeny to pick the team opposite yours.
Well, I want everybody to have fun. Or should I say not have fun? I guess I should say I don't want anyone to have any fun whatsoever. Maybe they'll have fun.
I didn't realize this was Germany in 1933. So nobody wanted to have fun then? 80 years too soon? Brandon Wallace called it out 4 wide. Once he heard 4 wide, he knew it wasn't going to go well. That's what Gray Cross said. Yeah.
Yeah. Even at a track as big as Michigan, I mean, 4 wide doesn't typically work.
No. I mean, we use oil, but
we're still going to try. But
well, yeah. Racers do that. If they think they can do it, they just shove.
Makes me think of the SpongeBob meme where he's like, "You're good, you're good, you're good. Don't worry, Captain. We'll buff out those scratches."
I mean, Jacob Ellingson makes a really good point here in the YouTube.com live chat, just guys driving over their head. Sometimes I think, and I used to be this kind of guy, I would get a really good head of steam at a place like Michigan or Talladega or Daytona and think all of a sudden that I had, a supercar. And I would do one boneheaded thing, and all of a sudden people were cussing me out on the radio. It's also part of why I came up here to the broadcast booth. I can spot my own mistakes.
If my teammates ever hear me say I'm dropping the hammer, it's not going to end well for me, but I'm going to try it anyway.
Yeah, if my teammates heard full send, they knew to get out of the way. Bad things were going to happen. Either get in front of me or go all the way to the back of the pack. And with now 11 laps to go as the green flag flies, we're back underway. Andy Kurtz with control of the field. Travis Bieber, Casey Jones, Eddie Smith, Brandon Wallace, that's your top 5. And watch them shuffle around like a deck in a 5-deck shoe in Atlantic City. The 34 of Casey Jones peaks to the high side. He's trying to establish that high line and now hold off the 61 of Barrett Morton. The 81 of Chris Morse is a little bit further back here, running in 7th. And now the door opens up, and Morse is going to take a peek here and an attempt at maybe taking this 3 wide if he gets to the inside of the 99 and then lines up behind Barrett Morton. Morton tucks in against...
Oh, there goes Wallace. Wallace around down through the infield. Looks like off the nose of Morris.
Well, let's see what this might have been. There was Wallace right on the high side of Morton. Oh! And, I'll tell you what, when you get right up on that left rear quarter, especially in the tri-oval like that, that has a tendency to suck 2 cars together. That little bit of an air bubble, if you get right there at that left rear wheel, if you get into that bubble, you can kind of graze that air bubble. But if you get into it, the draft coming off of the car that would be theoretically in front of you is so strong, it's like an Electrolux vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, again, a tri-oval, you've got to keep some kind of wheel in it, but you're trying to squeeze yourself to the very, as tight as possible to the car to the outside. And, it's one of those things where it's just, again, you get kind of pulled in by the wake on the side draft, and it ends up turning somebody off your nose.
9 laps to go, and it becomes a real shame because you'd like to be able to see these 9 laps go green, especially after this much of an awesome race. But unfortunately, it looks like I'm guessing that we're gonna see caution number 7 before the night is through. Jamie Libke says that's 2 in a row of someone hooking the guy in front of them on the front stretch. And like I said, that's the way that exit at turn 4 works, especially here. and it can really suck those two cars together. So it's not really getting into somebody and taking them out, like a pit maneuver that police would use. It's more of a victim of aerodynamics.
I can see the wind.
You
gotta see the wind.
The one thing before dismantling the rig that I always wanted to try was getting a wind simulator for it. And really all it takes is some dryer hose and some fans and an Adreno board.
I feel like it just pissed me off. If I'm being frank.
I think
I would complain and say that it was
first of all,
not my terrible driving.
First of all, you should be Jordan, not Frank. See what I did there?
I see.
Because I implied that you thought that your name was Frank, not Jordan.
I'm aware. I'm aware of what my name is.
Okay, I mean, but you wanted to be Frank.
I mean, it's a nice name.
I guess Francis is too soon right now. You know what? Not for nothing, and I realize I'm not a Catholic. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I always thought that it would have been really cool if you had, like, when Pope Francis, first became the Holy Father, that I really would have thought, okay, his name is Francis, Pope Frank. Like, I just feel like that would have been cool, And my heart does go out to the over 2 billion Catholics who are mourning the loss of the Pope. And I have to say, though, as a non-Catholic, I'm really excited just to watch the pageantry of the next 11 to 13 days.
Yeah, it's a lot of like old country style. Well, like the motherland, whatever you want to call it. I don't know how to describe it. I'm not a history buff. But just the pageantry, like you said, of everything. It's pretty neat.
Yeah. Plus, he gets to wear those cool red slippers. I like the hats. I do. I like the hats. If you're gonna join a religion, make sure they got cool hats. That's what George Carlin said. When we go back green flag racing, it's going to be 6 laps to go. Andy Kurtz, Travis Bieber, Eddie Smith, Casey Jones, Barrett Morton, Chris Morse Jr., Brett Bieber, Alan Smith, and Skylar Daly with Jeremiah Holt bringing up the rear of your top 10. Right now, the 87 of Eddie Smith in the Tide Ride is lurking. Now, your big mover tonight is Alan Smith in the plus direction. He's up 12. Your big mover in the wrong direction is David Calvert. He's down 12. But Eddie Smith has quietly worked his way from 9th position where he qualified up here into 3rd. And I got to be honest, he's one of those drivers that I love to watch because he doesn't do it with a whole lot of gusto. He's out here logging laps, taking his runs when he can, making the passes when it's safe. And as I say that, Andy Kurtz is going to come into the Geico restart zone. The green flag waves, and we're back underway. 6 laps to go.
I also learned that when Eddie Smith says he doesn't really like a track or really good at a certain style of racing, don't believe him, because he told me he was terrible road courses, didn't really care for whatever it was, and he won, so don't believe him. Got a poker face.
Eddie Smith right now taking a love bump from the 61 of Barrett Morton. Morton shoves Eddie Smith just below Chris Morse Jr., and now he's going to secure away 4th position. He now sets his... No! Good God. Casey Jones is away and free and now facing a connection issue. The 114 of Travis Bieber out of Ole, Pennsylvania, 1/2 of the Route 73 Mafia, holding his own over top of Casey Jones in the 34, the HendrickCars.com Chevrolet SS. And this can't be good. I don't know what's going on with the 81. It's almost like there's a cross breeze on the backstretch.
Bieber way up onto that wall, just trying to get as much track as possible, trying to keep that thing revved up. Eddie Smith all over the back bumper. Brett Bieber getting the wall there. Almost called him Travis.
Very turbulent air coming down the front stretch. We take a peek here at Alan Smith in the 7 machine. Alan Smith in the finger-licking good Toyota Camry, riding just behind the 61. What a run he has out of North Mississippi. He backs it out, burps it just a little bit. He's going to hold on to the high side. I like watching Alan Smith when he does those kind of things, and all of a sudden now, Casey Jones having to parallel park between the 61 and the 808, letting Brett Bieber take over 5th position for the time being. But Andy Kurtz with 3 laps to go as our race leader out of Quakertown, Pennsylvania. He's followed by Travis Bieber, Casey Jones, Eddie Smith, and Chris Morse. That's your top 5 right here at Michigan International Speedway. You're watching the Goat Locker Racing Glove Station ARCA Series live on Sim Racing Media. Dave Riegel and Jordan Brockel, we've been with you all night long. And as Andy Kurtz comes out of turn 4, he's going to put the start-finish line in his crosshairs. And now here, with 2 laps to go, the Popsicle Sticks go in the air.
Yeah, and it's one of those spots that, oh, Casey Jones in the wall. And we're going to stay green for the time being, but, you know, I was going to say that Casey Jones was flying, and I didn't say it. Can't say that it was my fault. But Andy Kurtz kind of in that position where he's just got to kind of, you know, hope he can, you know, block the run, because he's going to be kind of a sitting duck here if Bieber backs off and tries to get a good enough of gap to get a good run.
The field comes off of turn 4. The man in the stand has the white flag in his hand. The Popsicle Sticks go down. The white flag is in the air. We're racing back to checkers. Andy Kurtz with control of the field, holding off Travis Bieber, and all of a sudden getting ready to make the move is Eddie Smith. Eddie Smith gets a run behind the 114, and like a hot knife through butter, he tries to get around the 48. All of a sudden, the 48 of Andy Kurtz holds him off. That's going to be your move of the race, as now the 114 takes the pass right here in turn number 4. Travis Bieber with control of the field coming off of turn 4, back to the start-finish line with a strong run is Andy Kurtz in the 48. He's going to bring along the 87, the 81. Oh my God! Andy Kurtz captures the checkered flag. He's followed by Eddie Smith and Travis Bieber, and Travis Bieber nearly stole one.
Absolutely crazy 3-wide finish for P2, but I mean Bieber, Eddie Smith both were flying there on that final lap, giving every ounce of their car left to that run there coming to the checkered.
We're going to go back here to the replay as they came through. And let's just watch Eddie Smith and Travis Bieber once more. I mean, we had a 3-way battle, nearly 4 for the lead. The 81, if he would have stayed behind the 114, we'd be talking about a much different deal. But my God. And of course, a huge congratulations to Andy Kurtz out of Quakertown, Pennsylvania. I didn't interview him tonight, and he winds up getting the checkered flag. And another congratulations to Jeremiah Holt, who picks up the AM win tonight, finishing 7th in Raw standings and getting the AM win here for the number 73. Andy Kurtz picks up the dub. I just used a term that even I can't stand to use. Andy Kurtz, Eddie Smith, Travis Bieber, that's going to be your podium, joined by Jeremiah Holt. Skylar Daly finishes in 10th in Raw standings. He'll finish 2nd in the AM standings. And, of course, Alan Smith in the 7 machine going to finish out the rest of your AM podium. Eddie Smith popping in. Now we're just waiting for Andy Kurtz. We know he knows how to find us.
Yeah, Kurtz picking up his 2nd win of the season. Jeremiah Holt picking up his 3rd, so 3rd for the AM division. So, I mean, strong finishes by both of those guys, adding to their tallies. I mean, Andy Kurtz more than deserving of that for one. I mean, the absolute run there by Eddie Smith and Bieber both right there, trying to steal it away from him. He hangs on, duke it out, engine on.
And with you now, as a matter of fact, is Andy Kurtz.
Andy Kurtz, Jordan in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, what's up? Gotcha.
Hey, man. So, I mean, you're running there, and you see Eddie Smith come dicing through, Travis Bieber all over you, the two of those guys diving around you, swarming around. I mean, how do you keep the composure and just kind of keep yourself in your own line and kind of block that out?
Yeah, yeah, it was definitely a lot of mirror driving for sure. The runs were crazy. You get just running in the pack. So yeah, luckily Eddie like shot out of a cannon on the final lap there in 1 and 2. So luckily the line I was running, I just so happened to be down on the bottom where he was, but he was really moving. So kind of got to block him there. Then yeah, just had Travis on his inside and at 3 and 4. So yeah, got it done. It was a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, certainly a lot of fun from up here to watch that. I'm sure Dave was near a heart attack on it, just trying to call it 100 mile an hour. But you get the win here, and put yourself in a good position, headed towards Dover, just 2 weeks away from the championship four. So now with Dover a week away, you can kind of breathe a little, just a touch, not a ton, but a little bit easier. And you got the win. And you can kind of focus on just getting the best possible finish, whether it be a win, a podium, top. Tell me how, having a good points day, help you kind of be a little bit more calmer headed towards Dover.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's what everyone in this spot wants. You want to lock in your championship race as early as you can. So yeah, I think it just lets me have maybe just a little bit more fun at Dover. Don't really have much to lose, so just kind of see how it goes. I really like Dover. It's a really cool track. I'm not sure how it'll be in this car. It'll be my first time racing it there, but I'd imagine it'll still be pretty similar to what it's always been like. So looking forward to it, and then maybe I'll get a couple practice laps in at Texas before a championship race comes.
Yeah, certainly. I love Dover, but Dover doesn't back. That's for sure. There, always seem to hit the turn two or hit the wall coming out of. Hates me, absolutely hates me. Even though it's my hometown, it despises me. But it's a ton of fun to watch these cars. Any car really run there, and look forward to watching you see what you can do there. But before I send you on your way there, bro, does anybody you want to shout out and thank for tonight's race?
Yeah, man. Yep. Appreciate you guys for putting on great broadcasts for us every week. Thank everyone at Goat Locker, all of our admins and everyone who puts this on for us, lets us race a couple nights a week. I want to thank Lincoln Tech, Safe 22, Hidden Whip Brewery, Cruising Classics, Nasty's Restaurant and Bar, Glove Station, Operation Valor, Invent, Stamp Printing and Promotions, McConey Setup Shop, V-Speed, Sim Racing Media, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, Alexander PC, Sim Motion, Next Level Racing, iRacing, and Above the Yellow Line for helping us put this on.
Well, absolutely. Thank you for your time there, brother, and maybe we'll catch you on another one.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely. That the voice of the driver of the number 48, tonight's winner, Andy Kurtz. And next here on our podium is Eddie Smith, driver of the number 87 Ford Mustang. Hey, Eddie, it's Dave. You got me?
What's going on, guys?
Man, I'll tell you what, you're what's going on. I thought that you had the move of the night coming, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I thought you were trying to take the win away from Travis Bieber and Andy Kurtz, but unfortunately, just, literally by a nose too short. How was that last lap, and how hard was your heart pumping?
I was pretty happy finishing third because the way this race went, I thought that, you need to work with people, and Andy and Travis kind of got the memo early, and they were really just staying in line, not battling each other too much. So I feel like if you didn't have the lead, I really didn't have any thought that I might win. And honestly, I was just trying to hold on to third. Barrett Morton in the 61 got a huge run, and I was just trying to stop that from, like, I didn't want him to slide me. in between me and Travis. And when I did it, Travis said he backed off, and it just was the perfect storm of being able to make that move work, because I saw me maybe getting clear of Travis, and so then I was like, okay, and I need to get up in front of him and just try to ride. And so, yeah, I never really thought I had a shot at winning, but I mean, why even show up to race if I'm not going to finish second? I've done that pretty much this entire season.
Well, and of course it's usually all about points, especially here in the playoffs. And I mean, obviously every point matters. And from what we saw tonight, obviously the playoff driving in this league is completely insane. I mean, the Goat Locker Racing Glove Station ARCA Series is the place to be, and you guys put on a heck of a show tonight. Before we cut you loose, who do you need to thank, and who helped you get it done on the 87 team tonight?
Yeah, Jam Printing Promotions, the Glove Station, you guys for broadcasting, and Alexander PCs.
All right, my friend, listen, I know I'll catch up with you later here on Discord, so congrats on the P2 finish, and we'll see you next week.
See you later.
That the voice of Eddie Smith, and next up, next fish in the barrel, out of Ole, Pennsylvania, is Travis Bieber, driver the number 114.
Hey, Trevor. Wow, I can't speak. English is hard language for me. Travis, you got a copy?
Yep, got you guys.
So, I mean, you're sitting there, you're riding behind Kurtz, and you're thinking to yourself, you're trying to set up a run, but all of a sudden you see that 87 kind of throw a Hail Mary there. Talk about the runs at this track and everything, with how the draft works here. I mean, you're on 190 down the backstretch to 170 in the corners, trying to develop runs and everything like that. I mean, how did that, affect your planning ultimately with trying to, make a run on Kurtz?
Yeah. I mean, I think the three of us were probably working together pretty well the whole time, trying to, get that long run and kind of get away from everybody and stay together there. But, I think in practice you could see the bottom was going to be, I'll say, slower, maybe a little harder on the tires. So I practiced driving around the top. So once we moved up there, that was where I was comfortable running. So, if you're running up there, kind of blocking I'll say you can kind of keep that momentum up on the top and stay around everybody. It was pretty good. And then, at the end there, with me and Andy being teammates, it was kind of like, okay, he's ahead, I'm ahead. We're just trying to work together and hope one of us can make it across, almost like we're running a super speedway race.
Now, with Andy being, in the hunt for the championship and you being teammates, I mean, how much does your mind go to a defensive mindset for him, or is it still full, racer's mindset of getting the win? I mean, I know me, if I'm ever in a position to win, I'm going to be a terrible teammate, but certainly with the professionalism you all have here, it's a little different there.
I mean, yeah, no, I want to win. So I'm here to win. I'm not here to run second. So I wanted to get to his outside through 1 and 2 there, and like you said, Eddie kind of dove in there and sort of changed the plan. But the main thing we had talked about it under the last caution was Andy, Eddie, and I think Morse was up front there too. They were all in the playoffs, and I said I'm not wrecking one of those guys to try to win. So, I'm like I said, I'm here to win, but I'm here to win. I'm not here to run second, but I wasn't gonna take one of those guys with me if I threw the Hail Mary. How about that?
Absolutely. So now we move forward. You get to go and try to tame Miles the Monster next week. Try to pull off a win there, and forward to seeing that. Before we set you loose there, brothers, anybody you want to shout out?
Yeah, just want to shout out Glove Station for their sponsorship of the league. Shout out Go Locker, all the awesome things that they're doing for veterans and putting a league on for us to race in multiple nights during the week. And give a shout out to you guys for the great broadcast you guys put on each week. And shout out my teammates Andy and Brett for the support they gave tonight and last night, and hopefully, I can bring home a championship on Sunday, and Andy can bring home this one on Monday night.
Absolutely, man. Look forward to seeing what all unfolds, and maybe we'll get on another one there, man.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. That the voice of Travis Bieber out of Ole, Pennsylvania, part of the Pennsylvania Posse, if you will. As last but certainly not least on our podium tonight, moving on to the championship for Jeremiah Holt, driver, the number 73. Jeremiah, it's Dave. You got me?
Yes.
Buddy, listen, great run tonight here for the 73. I mean, you qualified 6th, you finished 7th, still picking up the AM win, ahead of Daly and Alan Smith. How does that feel, and especially to know that now it takes the pressure off of next week since your championship 4 ticket is punched?
It feels good, but this is anybody's race, especially since we went to this new car. Everybody's fast. I think it's just trying to survive, miss the chaos, don't make bad decisions. But it feels good to finally get a win. I've been really close the last couple races, and each race I've put myself out. Nobody's fault but my own, so it feels good to finally be able to get a finish.
Yeah, and I mean, to get it at a place like Michigan here, I mean, this is such a cool racetrack, and for these ARCA cars, the speeds that you guys are running at, 195 miles per hour down into turn 1 and turn 3. I mean, just blistering in these ARCA cars. Did you find it hard to try to keep the car underneath you all night, or were you pretty well settled in?
No, the new car's stable. It'll just about drive anywhere you want it to. I don't even think I realized the speeds were that high. Car stable. It'll drive anywhere on the track you want it to drive, and that's what makes it so difficult. Everybody's doing the same thing, so it just gives drivers, I think, a lot more options. You've got the whole racetrack now instead of one lane, so it makes a huge difference to me.
Yeah, and obviously that was the difference tonight. Well, before we cut you loose and, of course, get you ready for next week as we head on down to Dover, who do you need to thank and who helped you get it done tonight on the 73?
I'd like to thank Lincoln Tech, Save 22, and Glove Station. Also, the Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs. And, of course, Goat Locker for bringing all this together for us. It's been a great season.
All right, my friend. Well, listen, congratulations once again. We'll see you next week. And, listen, even more excited to see you punch that ticket to the championship 4.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. That the voice of Jeremiah Holt, driver of the number 73. He goes ahead and punches his ticket to the championship 4 on the AM side. Jordan, we're just a couple of weeks away from that season finale.
Yeah, and it's getting even more and more as we run. And I mean, I'm a little not surprised by the guys in the pro division, who are up there, because they've been at the top all week or all year long. I'm looking forward to that. Am driver, continually getting better. So I think it's just going to continue over these next 2 races to get even more chaotic, but in a fun and good way.
All right, my friend. Well, listen, let's go ahead and check one final time before we get out of here those results from live here at Michigan International Speedway. Bringing home the checkered flag, both of them, Andy Kurtz and Jeremiah Holt, they each bring home their respective divisions' checkered flags. And joining Andy Kurtz on the pro podium is going to be Eddie Smith and Travis Bieber. Chris Morrison, Barrett Morton round out your top 5, while Brett Bieber, Brandon Wallace, Timothy Wilmus, Skylar Daly, they make up the rest of your top 10. Alan Smith comes home in 11th with Chuck Pegleg Feltz in 12th. Devin Smith and Casey Jones in 13th and 14th, with Jamie Libke with a rough night for the 13 machine finishing in 15th. David Calvert and Jake Ellingson come home in 16th and 17th, and 18th goes right on there to Ricky Sisk Jr. Jacob Lanke, Richard McCarthy, Warren Clayton, Mark Cofield, and John Huchin make up the rest of your field tonight. And, unfortunately, somebody had to do it, but tonight it was last month's Warrior Spotlight driver, John Huchin. So as we get ready to turn our attention to Dover next week, we want to thank everybody for tuning in this week right here at Michigan International Speedway. You were watching the Goat Locker Racing Glove Station ARCA Series live here on Sim Racing Media. I'm Dave Regal, and he was Jordan Brockell. And tomorrow and every day as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.